When it comes to fat loss, there are three golden rules that anybody who's looking to achieve sustained and meaningful fat loss must adhere to and must implement in order to achieve optimal fat loss. So it's quite simple. The things I'm going to talk about here, people are probably going to think, fuck me, that's not fancy, that's not sexy, that's not extravagant or incredible information. It is quite simple, quite simple, scientific, however effective, and that is what we want: effectiveness and sustainability when it comes to fat loss. Because at the end of the day, being a personal trainer, being a coach, for me, the bottom line is results. It is a results driven industry, and that is what I want. I want people to achieve fat loss. I want them to look and feel good. I want them to look in the mirror and be proud of what looks back at them. So the number one, the king fat loss rule, the number one golden fat loss rule is energy balance. So what do I mean by energy balance? Energy balance, like I'm sure you've heard this phrase, is calories in versus calories out. That is ultimately what determines any sort of health and fitness goal, whether it be achieving fat loss, whether it be achieving muscle gain, whether it be achieving strength gain, whether it be achieving maybe things like improving your power output, your cardiovascular performance, like you're increasing your VO2 max, increasing your endurance. So if you're not putting the fuel in, if you're not putting the calories into your body, you're not putting the fuel into your body, you're not going to be able to fuel your workouts effectively. And particularly when it comes to fat loss, it is so crucial, it is so imperative that you adhere to the rule of energy balance and calories in versus calories out. So practicality, what do? What's the actual thing you can do when it comes to this rule? Count your calories, track your calories. So that would encompass the likes of using things like MyFitnessPal, which is commonly used by people, and I would recommend that. It is quite simple to use, it's easy to use interface, and a lot of my clients would use it. Sometimes what I've done in the past is I've just kept a food journal, and I like the food journal because I feel with the food journal you can definitely increase the accountability. Like you have to go and literally write down what you've eaten, like the type of food, the caloric value of the food, and then the macronutrient intake as well, which is actually the second rule, but we'll get into that later. So yes, tracking your food intake, tracking your calories, either by an online app like MyFitnessPal or keeping a wee food journal. I find those to be very effective when it comes to tracking your calories, and you will actually find over time, the more you track calories and when your goals maybe change a bit, you will actually intuitively know, like, I'm actually hitting my calories today, so I don't even need to track my calories. But that's more for at an advanced stage. I would recommend for most people, like you would have to maybe be doing that for years. I've done that for 10 years, so for me it's second nature. But the key is track your calories. That is what dictates results. That is king when it comes to fat loss. Your energy balance, what you burn is greater than what you put in. So obviously your energy balance, what you burn, your energy expenditure, so to speak, is determined by your physical activity and your metabolism. So like I said, it's simple. If you want to lose body fat, if your energy expenditure is greater than your energy intake, you will lose body fat. If it is not, you will either maintain your weight, or if your energy intake is greater than your energy expenditure, you will gain weight, you will gain body fat. Your body, each time you eat, your body stores a small amount of fat. This is called the postprandial state, or the fed state. Whenever you then don't eat, your body enters the sort of fasted state, where this is the post-absorption state, where it begins to absorb and assimilate your food. And at this point, this is actually when your body can burn fat. So this stage occurs particularly when you go to sleep, because you obviously don't eat when you sleep. You're in a fasted state. Or if you do intermittent fasting, for instance, you fast for 16 hours a day, your body is not laying down fat, it is actually burning fat. So then whenever you do eat food, it does store a little bit of fat. However, the key is, at the end of the day, if your caloric intake is, if your energy expenditure is greater than your energy intake, it doesn't matter that your body lays down a wee bit of fat every time you eat. Ultimately, over that 24-hour period, your body has burnt more fat than it has stored fat. So the second golden rule when it comes to fat loss is macronutrient intake. And you could almost use the analogy of energy balance is the king when it comes to fat loss, and macronutrient intake is the queen when it comes to fat loss. Because your macros do count. I've heard people say they don't count, or they don't matter. I've even heard people say like counting your calories doesn't matter. Like in particular, that counting your calories doesn't matter is ridiculous. It does fucking matter. Your macronutrient intake does matter. It can have an influence and determine how much body fat you lose. For instance, if macronutrient intake didn't matter, well then you wouldn't care about your protein intake. However, extensive studies, it has been proven without a shadow of a doubt that higher protein intakes lead to greater weight loss, lead to greater fat loss. Because when you eat more protein, you have a greater thermic effect of food and you burn more calories and you burn more body fat invariably. So, and also the great thing about protein is it's actually very satiating. It keeps you full, it keeps you satisfied, it keeps hunger at bay. And there's a whole host of other benefits when it comes to the protein. People who have higher protein intakes have better bone health, they have better mood overall as well. So it is imperative that you have a high protein intake. Having a high protein intake will facilitate greater fat loss. That's been proven, without a shadow of a doubt. So moving on to the next macronutrient in this equation would obviously be carbohydrates. Now, carbs are important when it comes to fueling workouts and fueling your training sessions. And when it comes to fat loss, if you are an athlete in particular, if you want to achieve fat loss and you want to fuel your workouts and maintain your muscle while losing body fat, carbs are your friend. If you are maybe more sedentary and don't engage in as much physical activity, this is what I would do with clients who aren't maybe athletic but just are looking to lose weight. I would then do a low carb diet, a ketogenic diet, where you're essentially cutting out carbohydrates and you're eating a diet high in protein and fat. But for most people who are regular exercisers who are athletes, I would recommend eating carbohydrates because again, carbs do serve a useful purpose. They are a very effective fuel source when it comes to fueling particularly high intensity interval training, or any sort of training that requires explosive power and requires essentially requires explosive power and strength. Maybe with endurance type training, you don't particularly need carbohydrates as much. In fact, your body can run on fats for that. So moving on to the next macronutrient, fat. So obviously fat is so important for many different physiological functions. It helps your body produce hormones. For men, it obviously ensures that you have an optimal level of testosterone. It protects your nervous system and your organs. It helps your body absorb and assimilate vitamins and minerals. So it's imperative that you have a healthy fat intake, and the types of fat that you eat can also play a part in fat loss. So you want to crucially have a high intake of monounsaturated fats. Now that would be the likes of your extra virgin olive oil, avocados, almonds, cashews, the nuts, flaxseed, and things like that, and fatty oily fish like sardines, salmon, mackerel. Those things have omega-3 fatty acids, which most people are deficient in. Most people, like, your body cannot produce omega-3 fatty acids on its own. You either get it through eating things like I said, sardines or salmon, like fatty fish, or you take an omega-3 supplement. So I would recommend an omega-3 supplement, because an omega-3 supplement can actually enhance your fat loss, can actually improve your mood, your cognitive function. So I would highly recommend upping your intake of fatty oily fish and increasing your omega-3 intake by supplementing omega-3s. And krill oil is also another good source of omega-3. So increasing your omega-3 fatty acids will actually help facilitate greater fat loss, as well as improve other parameters of your health. Like I said, your mood, your mental well-being, and your cognitive function, improving your memory, things like that, a whole host of benefits. So the third and final golden rule of fat loss is adjusting your food intake throughout the process of dieting. So what I mean by that is, when I work with clients, I do give them, I run their measurements, their personal details through a calculator, and that gives me their estimated caloric intake in order to help them achieve weight loss. The thing is, though, that may work for a period of time, it may work for a period of a few weeks, maybe a month. However, the problem is it does get to the point where it no longer works for them because their body has actually lost weight and their metabolism has shifted. It is decreased slightly, and there is other variables at play there, like maybe they didn't exercise as much that week, so maybe that played a part in them not having a greater energy expenditure and invariably not actually burning as much body fat. However, over time, what you will see with people when they lose weight, when they lose body fat, is their metabolism will slow down because they've lost weight, and invariably the caloric intake that was utilised and the food intake that was utilised in order to achieve that initial weight loss now no longer works. So in that instance, you have to course correct and adjust your food intake. So really, what's the actionable step here? What is the practical step here? That is just constantly and consistently tracking your food intake. And also crucially your weight. And if you realize that I'm not losing weight here at, for instance, 1,800 calories, well then, if I was working with a client, I would then say, well, that is for the past week you haven't been losing weight. We'll then adjust and we'll drop your calories by 100 calories and we'll go from there. And maybe try and increase your daily activity as well in order to help facilitate greater fat loss, greater weight loss. I personally do not like dropping calories really low because for a variety of reasons. First off, that's not fucking sustainable. You will not, you will lose weight, but do you honestly ask yourself this question, do you think you could live on a 1,200 calorie or 1,000 calorie diet for the rest of your life? The answer is no. You will, starving yourself works, yes, in the short term. However, in terms of an actual long-term plan for achieving weight loss, and not only achieving weight loss, but actually sustaining and maintaining that weight loss, it is a suboptimal and poor strategy. So in that case, a slow, measured and controlled process and steps are the key to achieving sustained fat loss and weight loss. And that means dropping calories by small increments rather than just boom, cutting calories to 1,000, or drastically cutting your calories to pretty much starvation calories. So that's really the three golden rules when it comes to fat loss. And just to quickly recap, they are obviously energy balance, calories in versus calories out, which is the king variable when it comes to achieving fat loss. The second golden rule of fat loss is you tracking your macronutrient intake, which can be regarded as the queen variable of fat loss. And the third variable of rapid fat loss is consistently tracking and then adjusting your food intake when necessary, when you're no longer achieving weight loss and you're no longer achieving fat loss. So those are my three golden rules of fat loss. And like I said at the beginning of the video, nothing fancy, nothing fucking sexy, no magic pill, no magic supplement, no specials, 30-day juice cleanse, fucking detox fucking plan. Those are the simple steps, the simple actionable steps, the three golden rules when it comes to fat loss. They are scientific and they are effective, and if you consistently adhere to them, you will achieve your fat loss goals and also invariably any other fitness and health goal. So anybody watching this video, if you appreciate what I say, you resonate with what I say, but you want more help, you want more guidance, don't be afraid to drop me a DM. And because this is my mission in life, that is to help serve other people, to help them look and feel good, to help them achieve their dream body, help them achieve their dream physique, and just look sexy as fuck. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. Love you all.